everybody, I'm Rocky the Ramone, and this is another installment in my series of reviews of the 12-inch singles that the Ramones released on Beggar's Banquet. This single was released in 1985, featuring the songs Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, Daytime Dilemma, and Go Home Ann. Daytime Dilemma was from the previous album, Too Tough to Die, and Bonzo Goes to Bitburg would be featured on the forthcoming album, Animal Boy. Normally, I go right for the non-album track, but first I'd like to talk about the controversy surrounding the release of this single. There is a whole backstory to the writing of Bonzo, and we will cover it at a later date, but the cover itself generated controversy with a picture of Ronald Reagan giving a speech at the Bergen-Belsen concentration camp. This garnered protests from groups like the Moral Majority and the Patriotic League of the Alamo. The art was then changed, but I could not find an image of the replacement cover. The Animal Boy album was produced by Jean Beaubois, who is credited with co-writing the song Go Home Ann with Dee Dee Ramone and Mickey Leigh. For those of you who don't know, Mickey Leigh is Joey Ramone's brother. This non-album track was produced by Ed Stasium, but what I found most surprising is that it was mixed by Lemmy of Motorhead. The song starts off with a spooky keyboard intro that sets a darker tone, which I am assuming is played by Jean Beauvoir because he has sole keyboard credits on Animal Boy. Now, I'm not against keyboards in Ramones songs, and I can think of only a few times when it didn't work. The song that wins the title of Worst Ramones Keyboard Song Ever has to go to She Belongs to Me, but that is for another time and another place. The intro does set a dark tone for the song, and the production also adds to that dark feel, but the lyrics clash. Go Home Ann is a song about asking a woman to leave after a one-night stand. If that sounds like I am putting it plainly, it's because the lyrics are pretty plain. I am not criticizing the subject matter, but the lyrics do seem pretty shallow, and also kind of mean-spirited. We're not talking about the romanticized street kid kind of mean, where there is some sort of catalyst or justification for the behavior. Nope. This is just someone who used someone else for sex and is now adding insult to injury. The lyrics just don't hold up over time. The Ramones have covered a great deal of controversial topics over their career, but most of the time they manage to express those concepts with a lot more depth. I guess what I'm trying to say is that the good stuff was poetry, whereas the lyrics to Go Home Ann were just lyrics. The music itself was not very remarkable either, and by the end of the song you feel like there was something missing. This song feels like a well-produced but incomplete idea. Overall, it is one of my least favorite of all the non-album tracks and doesn't even really sound like a Ramones song. This is definitely proof that not every song that is written needs to be recorded or released. That's it for this episode. Stay tuned for the next installment of the Ramones Beggar's Banquet 12-inch singles when I review the Hands Across Your Face single featuring Crummy Stuff, Something to Believe In, and the non-album track I Don't Want to Live This Life. Thanks for watching. I'm Rocky the Ramone. And Bonzo Goes to Bitburg installment of the Ramones Beggar's Banquet